that joins us. This is a very tight family. I'm using the word family because that's what it feels like. I have some of you guys even call me on the side, and we have a lot of conversations. So I truly feel that way. Marcelo, can you see if there's anybody there new? I want to make sure if there's anybody new out there.
Yeah, I don't recognize this guy named Joe Libera. You know, he seems kind of.
I don't know who that is. Now I do know a Joe Libara.
Libera. See, that's probably right. I don't recognize Hector Hernandez. You don't have your video on, but I don't recognize you. Is this your first time here, or did I just miss you the last time?
No, it's my first time. I'm part of the local PMI local chapter, so I don't know about how the affinity of that with this group is, but yeah, first time here. Great to hear it's a family. Hopefully you can adopt me here.
Three words, Hector. Resistance is futile.
Welcome, Victor.
Welcome. That being said, welcome. Also, we got, I think, Eric Massengill. I don't remember seeing him in our group before. Welcome, Eric.
Thank you, guys. I'm actually still on the clock over here working at University of Phoenix, trying to take some calls to students, trying to get them to enroll. But I've been connecting with Godwin a little bit. He told me about this, so I figured I would just swoop in and just try to listen on some stuff while I finish my day over here.
That is awesome. We are definitely not paying Godwin enough for the propaganda he's giving us.
Yeah, well, let's pay him let's double your payment. Let's double that, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. So, welcome, Eric. I know Dilip has been with us before. Richard's been with us before. I don't recognize Bill, unless that's a Bill Barker. Bill, would you introduce yourself to us?
That's Bill. That's our Bill.
It's our Bill. He's just got his video off. I get it.
Yeah, sorry.
Awesome. I recognize someone I haven't seen in a while. Maika, welcome back. I haven't seen her in a while. Welcome back. All right, and I'm going to take a guess that Umberto, you've been here before, correct?
I have.
That's right. I thought you had. I thought you looked familiar. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah. Teresa, last but not least, I kind of sort of remember you, but I'm not sure. It's been a while, I think. Oh, she's on mute. You're on mute.
You're muted.
There we go. Is that better?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. No, I am actually brand spanking new.
Whoa,
I
okay.
went on your website. I was connected through Al Amadeo, and went on the website. I was looking for the Saturday meeting, and then I saw this one and figured I'd crash early.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I wish Al were here so I could congratulate him. I don't know if everybody knows, but Al got himself a gig. So let's congratulate him next time we see him.
Yeah.
Do we know where, when, how?
He
it's
is
on LinkedIn somewhere.
Yeah, he's
up at PSE&G up in New York, out on Long Island.
Oh, he's moved to New York?
No, it's remote, at least for a couple months or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well deserved.
Cool. And I think
Congrats.
also Ravi Patnala, are you new to the group, or you've been here before? Your name looks familiar to me, so I'm going to call you as new.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm new. First time attending.
So welcome, Ravi.
Thank you.
Awesome. And I see Paul got in. Did you bring the coffee, Paul?
No, I brought life vests.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the working agreement says the last one in the door brings the cafecito. Oh, okay. And actually, I think you got saved because Ray, is that our Ray or is that a different Ray who's joined us?
Wait, now I want to know what a cup of cafecito is.
A cafecito.
You don't know what a cafecito is? And weren't you in Miami for a while?
No, I didn't. Never lived in Miami,
not
but
good. Not good.
I may know what it is, but it's a different name, like an espresso that's got.
No.
Cafecito, totally different. Totally different.
Don't go besmirching cafecito by calling it espresso.
Is it a Cuban coffee?
Yeah, don't tell him cortadito.
No, that's actually different.
Yeah.
Cafecito is like calling a Cadillac a car. I mean, come on, guys.
All right, awesome, Marcel. Thank you very much. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we got you, Rick.
All right, terrific. So my name is Rick Regueira. Yes, we run this meetup every Wednesday, and I always like to say, how much does this meetup cost? How much is everyone paying to get here? Hopefully everyone can see the invoice.
Yeah, they're paying an incredible price, Rick. It's free as in beer.
Free
and cafecitos.
And cafecito if you're the last one in the door, Paul.
All right. So we kick it off that way every time we have this meeting. So keep in mind that we do this on Wednesday. We also do this on Saturday. So this meeting specifically for the South Florida Agile Association, of course, connected with the transformation experts. So SFAA has been around since 2013. We started with 4 individuals in one small little table up to creating conferences of over 800 people. So our community keeps growing and we keep providing free service to help our community out. And it keeps growing not just in South Florida. We've had people from all over the place. Can anybody remember some of the different places or different people that have come in here? What areas they represent?
Yeah, Rick, I remember one day we had somebody join us from Qatar, all the way from the Middle East.
Wow.
Yeah, we had an Agile coach join us from Qatar.
Anybody else remember any other place?
China.
One day from Dubai.
Dubai.
Oh, you remember my friend Sunil?
We had someone from Hong Kong, didn't we? Once.
Yep, Hong Kong and China. Yes.
In Germany, I remember.
France. We had a Belgium. My friend came from Belgium.
There you go.
Joined from Belgium. He didn't come from Belgium. He joined from Belgium.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
I don't feel so bad joining from North Florida now.
There you go.
It's just a stone's throw away.
All right, so it is open to the world, right? So we want to make sure we encourage more and more people to come here. Please make sure to invite a friend if you find this of value. So the South Florida Agile, we're going to go ahead and put you the link. Nelu, please do that. Nelu's our great assistant here that she's been helping us for a while now. And go ahead and put that link. The good thing about having that link is that you can go ahead and take a look at our website. And there's also some training classes. So if you're interested in any kind of certification classes, whether it's Agile, when you talk about Agile, we're looking at Kanban, SAFe, Scrum. We even have certified Agile leadership classes. So anything you're looking related to certification, please count on us. We're here to help you. All right, with no further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick off the actual event. The event is going to follow a lean coffee session. And the way lean coffee works, we're going to first give you a link to a Jamboard, a link to Microsoft Jamboard. Once we provide that link, we're going to walk you through that process. So Naidu, you want to go ahead and give that out to the team?
Sure. Can you check the chat, please? The chat line, I just provided the Jamboard link. If you can't get in, please let me know and I'll help you out. You should, though.
All right. So once you get that link, please do not go crazy on that site yet. Okay, let us walk you through it and then we'll go ahead and get through. Okay, so I don't know if you want to share that link already. Okay, you're on the first page. So hopefully everyone's seeing this. Is anybody having difficulty? How many people do we have logged in already? I'm seeing a count there, 12,
hey, don't touch these.
17 people so far connected.
Somebody's already moving it. Be careful, people.
Yeah.
There you go. I knew it was going to happen. I can tell you the story.
My bad.
The first time I ever ran an exercise like this, I had a ton of people and I could not have them stop. They would not stop. They would keep playing around. I could not actually get one exercise done. But I know you guys will not let me down. Okay, so let's go. So this is the first slide. So again, welcome. Thank you very much for being here. My name is Rick Regueira. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So if you move to the right on the middle section, you can actually move from one slide to the other. And we're going to actually run a lean coffee session. So Neilu, what's the first step? We've got the Kanban board. So we have a board that allows us to actually track the items that we're going to work on. We have a brain dump. So we're going to be able to get your ideas. So think about it. If you have a question on Agile that you never got answered, this is the time to ask it. You're going to have a collaborative session to try to come up with some of the answers of some of the things that you're concerned. Or if you're concerned about a certain area, or if you have a problem at work that you want to solve, or if you're new to Agile and you say, what is Agile? Why am I here? Those things, any kind of question is a good question, okay? So we want to make sure we have a brain dump, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and pick a topic. We're going to go ahead and try to select the topic, and then I'm looking down, prioritize it.
Yep, prioritize.
And then we're going to go ahead and decide to actually go deep, dive into that specific item. We'll have a time box. We're going to say maybe 5 minutes to spend on the item. And then we're going to discuss, do we continue or do we go with the next item? Okay, that's high level, and we'll walk you through again a couple more times across these steps. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next slide. So these are some assistants, some helpers that I might need. So who do we have helping us today, Nelu?
Yeah, so we have here Victoria, we have Joanne. I think Joanne is here, I'm not sure. But if not, it's fine. We have Joe. Someone says Labara. Yeah. We have Bill. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
And basically what they're going to be doing is they might be helping with the boards, or they might be helping taking notes, or they might be helping with the chat line. Of course, we got Marcelo here and some of the other team members that are also going to help. But just be aware that these are some of the people behind the scenes that are making things happen. We like to start with a working agreement. So just understand that we're going to be able to vote whether we want to continue with the topic or not. So if we see that the topic is really good and we still want to go, we would have thumbs up. That's it. We're tired of this topic. Let's get to the next one. You would go thumbs down. Okay? Very simple. So the only people that are going to be able to vote are the people that have their video cameras on. Okay, so just understand that. So if you have your video camera, you can vote. If not, you're just going to have to take, what the team gives you. And I think you're okay with that for now. Please have your cameras on if you can. I understand that some of us are driving or possibly, have a cell phone.
We're still working.
We're still working. And what else is there, Nilu? I can't see that too well.
We have discussion time per topic is 5 minutes, followed by a 2-minute extension.
Right. So that's our first baseline, but we might change it depending on what that. And then what else? Topic sorting, volunteer. Okay, I think we're good with this. Let's go ahead and go to the next one. So this is your chance now. So everyone should be on this board right now. Yeah. And then the idea is that you can add stickies. So how do we add stickies? Nelu, you want to help us real quick for the people that have never used this tool before?
Sure thing. So if you go here on your left side, you will have a bar with several tools, okay? And you want to focus on the sticky notes, okay? Right now, we need a sticky note, and then you can go ahead and click on it, choose a color, okay? And then what you want to do is type something, okay? You pitch your ideas. Let's say you want to talk about, I don't know, what is a Scrum Master?
There you go.
Just an example. This is something basic. You click on save, and there you go. Here is your sticky. This is an example.
Maybe adjust it and make it a little smaller because that's a big sticky, and get rid of the 1 and 2 right now, Nelu, for that purpose so that we can have awesome. So that's your job. Your job right now is to make sure you're on this board and come up with some topics. What is it that's really bothering that you want to know about Agile? What is it? Write it down, put it there, and then we'll talk further. So that's the first exercise. So go ahead and do it. Maybe put some music there as they're putting that, maybe.
Okay.
So any topic you want to talk about, add it in there. Doesn't matter where you put it, because from there we're going to organize it. Volunteers, if you see some duplicate items, please make sure you concatenate them. So far we've got Scrum Master, and she's putting some
Hold on, let me just.
I don't know about that. Marcelo's usually a lot better
No,
DJ.
that's not me, man.
I'm
Yeah.
just telling you, Marcelo's the DJ now. I'm gonna have
Not
to
this time, man. Not
take
this
that
time.
responsibility away from you. So get rid of your Scrum Master one, Melu, just in case that was something that people didn't want to talk about. We got one sticky so far. The race is on. Full-time versus part-time coaches. Love it. Great topic. Keep putting it in there.
Yeah.
That could be controversial, Rick.
All right. Yeah, my eyes are pretty bad, so I'm going to count on Nelu or someone to help read some of those things. I need to get my glasses, but.
Yep. We've got Kanban for non-IT.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. I think I know who came out with that one. I think I know who came out with that one.
Then we've got some other who is involved in BAUS, business as usual requirements. Okay.
Business as usual requirements. Who's involved with that? Interesting. Okay.
Lean for startups, executive reporting. Why do so many companies struggle to implement Agile?
$1 million question.
Matt likes that one.
Seems like some of these questions are going to be answered so easily. You know? Just
I don't know what you're talking about, Nayla.
Oh my God.
So we have a couple of them for coaching.
I love it. Try to see if there's any kind of grouping that you guys see or any kind of similarities. If not, that's fine. If there's any like advanced topics, maybe you want to move them to the right. If there's any topics that are more beginner. So again, if you're new to Agile, please do not get intimidated by some of the questions here. Ask your question, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
First of all, it's anonymous. We don't even know who you are, first of all. So putting that in there, no one's going to know. So please, do we have anybody new to Agile?
In the group.
Anybody want to take credit for me? Or that they're new to Agile and they're here to learn more. No one wants to take credit for that, okay? All right.
This is Robbie. I'm new to the group, but yeah, I know Agile for a couple of years. So.
Okay, awesome. But if you're new to the group, welcome.
Thank you.
All right, how are we sorting them? Is somebody helping me there? Is there some type of?
So right now, it kind of just looks like groups. We have Kanban, we have implementation, we have coaching.
Okay.
Stakeholders are at the top a little bit because, you know, just so far they're not exactly the same, but they're topic driven.
Cool, that's great. All right, how much more time do we need? How do I know when they're done? That's
when. What was that time box again? We're doing multiple jobs.
This is Hector. Not sure if I'm doing this right, but I just added a couple of things and not sure if it's being reflected on the main board.
Okay, let's go look to, maybe you put it on a different board. Can someone scroll to the other boards to see if Hector might have put it in the other boards?
Okay.
If not, let's copy it over. Scroll to the
why
left.
don't we do another 2 minutes? That should give us enough topics.
I mentioned what's being coined, something called discipline agile. Not sure if you guys are familiar with that or you started looking at it.
Yes. Is that in there as a sticky?
Yeah, I called it out, but I don't know if I put it in the right place, but I called it out. Thank you.
Does anybody see that sticky there?
Yeah.
There it is. It just came in.
You got it in the right place. You're good, I think, right?
There.
We got you.
And now we flipped it around. Look at that. Are you seeing that?
Okay, so I'm gonna bring these together. Let go of it because these things are kind of like each other.
Yeah, 1 more minute, guys.
All right, we have some user story stuff.
Wow.
All right. So this is a lot of
feedback. Yeah, there's a lot of topics.
I'm looking around to see if everyone's finished If someone's not finished and needs some time, just raise your hand so I can know that you're still working on something. I'm looking around, I see no hands raised. So I'm assuming that we're done for now. But again, a topic might come out later on. So this is a brain dump. This is the first start of Lean Coffee. You put your data in there, everyone gets to participate. The next part of this is to decide, well, which ones are we gonna talk about? So if you notice, we got a whole bunch of circles at the bottom. You see that? So you should be able to grab one circle and look around, look around and find out where your vote, where that circle would represent one of your vote. Be careful because I see people fighting for the same circle. So try to pick a circle that's maybe not used by someone else and just put your circle next to the item that you feel is your vote. You only have one circle. Do not grab more than one circle. I know who you are, okay? All right? So only grab one, and some people are trying to duplicate. The circle's at the bottom. All you have to do is grab it and drag it over there. You don't have to create any more circles. So drag it and create it over there. And some of us are trying to duplicate. I don't know what we're doing there. All you have to do is drag and drop. That's it. Why are we doing all that? Nelu.
I'm putting on the front so the little dot doesn't hide behind the sticks.
Oh, okay. Got you. See? All right. So go ahead and put, yeah, that's true. That if you put the dot behind it, maybe that was one of the things that maybe we should have known. Lessons learned there. All right. Everyone having an opportunity to put their circle somewhere. Let's go. Let's do this. Dun, 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 dun,
Joe, what's the time?
Let's do another 2 minutes.
I'm voting for anything. I want to see how this plays out.
Yeah, me too.
All for the
I may cut it short early because of Rick singing, but
Look, I'm gonna call this out. Whoever's voting for that sticky, all the way in the upper left-hand corner, you have a wait. That's not gonna happen for a while yet, guys. I'm just saying, you know.
All right.
Or maybe we do it first and get it out of the way.
Yeah.
All right, so it's kind of difficult now because I'm seeing stickies on top of stickies here. So I don't know how that vote, but I guess we're concatenating them. So we're assuming those numbers are all going to be added up. So if we look around, which is the first topic that has the most amount of points or tallies?
Outside of the free beer.
Come on, people.
Don't choose the, we're not going to talk about that.
Because people apparently want to talk about Kanban, Rick.
It looks like it.
Where were you guys last month when I was putting together the class?
All right.
You know?
So
I didn't even hear about that class, Marcelo.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we have to understand how Lean Coffee is done. So as we move this sticky into in progress, so make a copy of that sticky and just put it in progress, Melu. But there's a lot more. This is Kanban and Scrum. I don't know. There's a lot even in that group itself.
Yeah,
so let's just move that over there for now. Put it in progress on the top. So this is our little Kanban board on the side there. Just a simple personal Kanban. It's nothing major. So that topic is our first topic we're going to talk about. So go ahead and go to the next slide and copy that same slide, Nelu, and just paste it there. So this is where we discuss this item, and we have a certain timeline. Anyone can talk, and we all just work through it. One of the things that I'm asking you to do as well, as you're hearing this person talk, I want you to go ahead and use some stickies here. And some of the lessons learned, let's put it up there so that we can keep that for our own personal notes, okay? And I know, Marcelo, you are the expert when it comes to that area, but maybe you want to have a few people speak, and then you can compliment them. So I guess the first question is to kind of explain what do you want from Kanban and Scrum? Does anybody, whoever put that sticky, can you elaborate a little bit more of what you're looking for? Does anybody, whoever wrote that sticky, was that one sticky or did somebody concatenate that sticky into that term?
No, it was one sticky.
Yeah, that came in by itself.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to talk about that specific sticky and what was specific? What were they looking for? Was it just an understanding of what that is? What were you guys looking for when you put that sticky?
Well, since there are so many Kanban ones, maybe you go general?
Which one are you talking about?
The Kanban and Scrum versus Scrum.
Kanban versus
more like the differences, like to expatiate on both.
Love it, love it. So the differences, I don't know if somebody wants to put that down. Thank you. Anyone else that was interested in understanding that area more? What was specific that they wanted to know? Or what were some areas?
You know, there is one more sticky along the same line. It talks about Agile, Dead, and Safe. Also, so probably we want to,
Yeah, it was Agile Dad, Safe, Kanban, key points and differences.
So that's a different area. I mean, there's
yeah,
a lot
that's more than one, right?
But we can talk about that as a further dive deeper into it. But I think we want to start with foundational Kanban and Scrum, I guess. Looks like here.
I'm thinking like what is best, say Kanban, what is that best used for? What type of project or what type of situation versus Scrum and what type of situation?
So, are we talking Agile development? I mean,
well, the person who put it, do you want to know how to use Kanban or what the differences are and how they're performed, or what projects they're for, or types of work they're for? What was the specifics?
Probably more like the project, which is best for which project, and
Okay. Let's go ahead and start with that. So we have a time. How much time do we want to give it? 5 minutes. And then once the 5 minutes are up, then we'll decide whether we want to have more time with this. So anybody can start. Who wants to talk a little bit about Kanban and how we would want to introduce that?
Starting the clock now.
Awesome. So if no one speaks, I'm going to let Marcelo hold the ball here. Marcelo, I'm going to pass the ball on to you. So you got to grab it and take it on your side.
Let me kick it off. This is Hector. Just
Awesome.
Real quick. If you look up these two entities or approaches, they're saying that Kanban is more fluid within the role playing within the roles of a team. Typically, a project manager kind of leads that, and then the Scrum side is more fluid. It's predefined by who's going to do what and who's going to work on what stories, et cetera, et cetera. One is more tasks are shared by everyone versus tasks are assigned by the Scrum Master or whoever's leading the team. So those are two kind of conversation starters for us. Not sure if they make sense, but that's what I'm kind of gathering.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having us review the general definition of what they are.
So Bill, I can't hear you that well. If that's you, Bill, I can't hear you that well. Is that you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
A little light, but maybe it's just me. Go ahead.
I was going to say I wouldn't mind us going over the basic definitions of what those are too before maybe go through the benefits.
I like it. All right. So Marcelo, I think I need to pass on the baton to you. Give us that, sir. Come on. Help us. You got your chart?
Wow, great. When I came in here last night, this evening, I figured, okay, it's going to be a lean coffee. I'm going to be able to chill. I'm going to just be part of the crowd.
Yeah, no such luck.
Wait a minute, I have an idea.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody's putting descriptions up there. Do we want to see, like, if we can, while you're talking, if we can figure out which one is Kanban and which one is Scrum? Like maybe.
Do you want to try to guess what they are?
While you're explaining it, then maybe the team will start to understand what you're talking about, and we can put Kanban on the left and Scrum on the right.
I like that idea. So, by the way, full disclosure, while Rick's been talking, I'm the one who is putting up those stickies.
So now we have to interpret, without you telling us, we need to interpret which one goes where.
Okay, so
that was his whole plan.
I'm going to mix some of these up, and you guys have to figure out where they go, and then we can talk about it. And I don't guarantee that in the time box that we have, I might not add more.
You got 3 minutes.
Yep,
Go
3
for it.
minutes. Let's go, guys.
Go for it.
Keep it interactive.
Try to organize where they go. And by the way, one may go in the middle. Or possibly even more than one can go more in the middle.
Oh, that can go in the middle.
I think who's moving this one, I think is actually not in the middle. The one is a method and the other is a framework. I think that's Kanban.
Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't go in the middle.
I don't know. Figure
So
out.
can we all get along and actually use the stickies and not
And both can be used for non-IT and IT. That can be in the middle.
Are you guys done?
One is a method, the other is a framework. It's got to be in the middle because it's got
Right. Yeah, it's got both of them. Yep.
We got a minute left, so for this topic.
Yeah, I don't know. This topic looks like it's going to continue.
Yeah.
No, we can. I think we can do it. Come on, guys.
All right, Marcelo, I think.
There you go. And I think I'm
There
going to
you
start.
go.
I think I'm going to stop there. Okay. Is everybody done? Because I did add one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So let's start with the ones in the middle, because they're actually both correct. Okay. The fact is, Kanban, and I was actually in a webinar this morning with like 20 Kanban trainers, where we were discussing about how this can be used for IT and non-IT. What is not as well known and probably even less understood is that Scrum can also be used for non-IT work. Okay, there's actually Scrum for marketing. There's actually Scrum for sales. And if I remember correctly, a few years back, Rick trained some attorneys in how to use Scrum. And as we all know, if you can train an attorney with something, you can train anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're sorry to interrupt. We're at time. Do we want a thumbs up? Keep going.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah. So what are we going to do? Another?
Give it another 5 minutes.
Because we have another 5.
Marcelo, you got 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay. So hopefully I've clarified that one is a method, the other is a framework. Okay. So the fact is that the two stickies that are in green are in their correct places. Okay. Kanban is, at least the Kanban method is an approach that lets you visualize the workflow of a particular process or service, we like to call it, and using some of the practices and principles to evolve it. Okay. Scrum, however, is a framework around whatever your process happens to be, and its purpose is to help you detect what in that process isn't working. Okay. I'll talk more about how it does it in a minute. Okay. But it does add certain events to you. Okay. That Kanban, at least initially, does not ask you to apply. Okay. What's interesting and also not as well known is that folks have started from either end and evolved from there. You can start using Scrum and apply Kanban. And I've seen teams that applied Kanban and said, you know what, we need a little bit more formalism. We're going to use Scrum to wrap around it, and we're going to use Kanban to visualize our flow of work. Okay. So it's not Scrum versus Kanban. It's and at the end of the day. Okay. So since the two green stickies are correct, let's talk about a couple of the ones that are not so happy. Okay. The fact is that Kanban is mostly agnostic to roles. Okay. So I'm going to move that one over there. Okay. Although it's not as well known that as you start to scale out the use of Kanban, there are actually roles in Kanban. Come to a Kanban class to find out more about those, because we would be here a couple of hours. However, with Scrum, did we hit the time box, Joe?
You got 3 minutes. You're good.
Okay. What is not also well understood is that Scrum does have certain roles, but those roles are bound to what they're accountable for, not just necessarily that they are bound to a human. Okay. As a matter of fact, the change to the Scrum guide that's coming out, in about 8 days, will make that apparent and will probably shake some people's heads, because then they're going to start wondering about, wait a minute, what about these roles? Because it's always been bound to what they're accountable for. Okay. Someone's accountable for being able to answer what's next. Someone's supposed to be accountable for get stuff done, deliver stuff. Okay. Actually create the product. And then someone's accountable for helping those other two and everybody around them work better together. Those are the roles in Scrum. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, going back over to the left-hand side, with Kanban, it actually says you can start with where you are, and it does not put any stuff around or on top of your process, whereas Scrum, and I'm going to move that sticky over here, does ask you to say, you know what, to help you detect, okay, what may not be working, we're going to add a lightweight wrapper around your process. Not to necessarily introduce other meetings, because when you start using Scrum, what you will often find is, why do we need that other meeting again? I don't know. Well, let's not use it anymore. Okay. So while Kanban can say you can, not must, can start with whatever your process here and visualize it, Scrum does say, let's add a little bit of structure, but it's lightweight enough, or should be lightweight enough, so that it doesn't get in your way. Okay. The problem here is that when folks usually try to apply Scrum, they overdo it. Okay. I hate to say it this way, but it's like the kid that's baking the cake and they grab the big can of the frosting and they just go with a big spoon and they go bang on the cake, and then they try to slather the frosting on top of the cake. And we all know what happens when a 7-year-old tries to make a cake for your birthday, right? Hilarity ensues. So that's a brief five minute less walk through Kanban and Scrum. Any questions?
And you did it within 15 seconds to spare.
Wow.
I have one small question.
Sure.
On measurement on productivity, how do you do it in Kanban? And
believe it or not, has nothing to do with either one.
Okay.
It's a practice. Within Kanban, there are certain tools that are used that are basically flow or Toyota production system flow metrics for assessing the efficacy of your decisions, but it has nothing to do with productivity. In other words, you can pull things through your Kanban and still build the wrong thing. You can still pull things into Scrum and build the wrong thing. The idea there is that Kanban doesn't say that there should be, at least initially, that there should be somebody who's accountable for figuring out what's best to do next. Scrum demands it. Scrum demands that there be someone accountable for making those sorts of value decisions, and then that other people uphold that decision to carry it out. So the idea there is to say, what does productivity mean to you? Then becomes the real question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we are at time. Do we want to keep going or next topic? Everybody vote.
All right, so this was an example. Now, I don't know whether this touched everyone and everyone felt like this was the right level for them, or they felt like, okay, that was too much or too little. But it is an example of what this looks like. So that's the first one, okay? So thank you very much for participating. This is a good one. Now we're gonna go back to the original board. Go ahead and go back, Nelu. There you go. And now we're looking for the second item. Or if there was another item inside the sticky where it said Kanban that maybe could be a second item, that could be a discussion, right? So is there anything next to the Kanban that might have also had a lot of, items being addressed in there. So I think for now, let's just hold off on that. Maybe we'll come back to Kanban since we spent some time with that. What's the next big ticket item that's outside of Kanban right now that you can see?
Yeah. I think how to estimate and executive reporting both have two dot votes.
So let's go with how to estimate right now. How to estimate load. Is that you want to try to do that? All right. So again, we get a clean sheet. So let's make sure we got perfect. Great job, Nelu. Copy that. You go to the clean sheet there. So again, that's interesting of that conversation. So we're going to paste it here. So back to the initial question. What did we mean by this? What do people want to learn about this specific sticky? How to estimate load. Demand versus capacity. So that's somebody saying that that's maybe what they meant. Anybody else that feels they know what they meant by this sticky? Does anybody that actually created the sticky would like to talk? We're gonna have to guess.
Yeah, please, by all means, help us understand what that question means. How to estimate load.
Is it? I didn't write it, but is it something to do with individual demand of a Scrum team versus the capacity of the teams, so that we fully utilize the team?
Interesting. It could be. I don't know.
Well, who actually put that out there? Could you identify yourself?
Not me.
All
right.
right.
I know you have all the answers there, Dilip. I know you got all those answers.
I didn't write the sticky, but I guess my question would be for Kanban or for Agile. Since Scrum is more of a framework, we're still looking at those two base platforms.
That's a good question. I'm the one who wrote the demand versus capacity sticky to kind of prime the pump, just so you guys know. But I'm still wondering who wrote that, how to estimate load and what they mean by that.
So let's take a couple guesses. So demand versus capacity, I love that. Let's just start with agile teams, right? If you think of an agile team and you're trying to estimate the load, if that's what we're trying to talk about, how do we do that today? Who would like to talk about that? So here you have a team and you're trying to estimate the load. What is the load? What does load mean? Huh? What is load?
I think it's the amount of the stories in the backlog that let us say that you estimated that you're going to work on. So I think it's more in phase than we call it load, especially like during PI, and then you have your load, which is all your prioritized.
So how much can you
for that PI?
So it's how much can you load on the team, right? So how much work can the team load up?
The team do, yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about that. So how much can the team load up? Who wants to talk? And I'm going to hold off on Marcelo right now because I want to see if you guys can kind of talk to each other and figure some of this out.
When do I start the clock?
You can start the clock whenever you want.
Okay, 5 minutes.
So again, the question is, how much can you load? How do you work through that? What are some things that are out there for you to help you?
Can I take a shot at it?
I always thought that capacity was how much might be done and load is how much we're committing to.
Yes, I like that.
No,
like
capacity. No, capacity is actually the time. Capacity has nothing to do with the load. It's more about I don't know how to explain it. How much free time the team has to be able to do that work. So it's within the period of iteration, you could actually ask the team to know who is taking vacations, so that you know the availability, so that you know availability compared to the work you're going to be doing.
Yeah, he's right. It's actually a calculation.
Calculation.
So
of the availability.
are you talking about the availability time logs of each person?
Yes, as a team combined.
So you have to subtract the time off from the network hours, right? I mean, you have 2,048 hours or whatever, minus time off or vacation or whatever, that's your load for that person.
No, the load is not that. The load is as per the stories you're working on. Capacity is how much time you have to do that work.
Yeah, but they're together.
It's not in time. It shouldn't, capacity shouldn't be in time. It should be in the number of stories and the number of points that you're going to do, not the amount of time.
Can I take a shot at it?
Relative to each other, aren't they? Because you've got either your whole release or you've got your smaller, of course, Scrum here, right? You've got your smaller iterations, but what time period are you looking at delivering in your load?
Yeah, because you're looking at resource allocation. I mean, you're going to say this person has 100 hours in this storage, right? And then from there, you have so many resources. And then you say for this sprint or this project or whatever, you have so many hours that they're allocated for that project. I'm just talking. So.
Right, but isn't it the team's responsibility to determine what they think they can achieve in that sprint?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
I think many companies, they put it in place a little bit differently. I have two different answers. One from the project manager perspective, that's what I used to do, and the second one is from the Scrum perspective. As a project manager, they have certain deliverables, certain commitments, certain weightage, certain complex versus not so complex items to be delivered. So their priorities defined, and item number one, item number two, if somebody finishes ahead of time, he can pick up something else, or he can work with somebody else. So that's the general mindset for the project manager. But from the Scrum, at the Scrum Masters level, I have seen that a lot of companies, they allocate certain weightage to each individual task that need to be delivered throughout the life cycle, and then each and every sprint. So management likes to track, like if they are delivering, let's say, 230 points in this particular sprint, in the next sprint they had to deliver 300 points. Now, how you do 300 across the different tasks, I mean, that's the job of Scrum Master. Then he can decide that who is capable of delivering more points in less time. So it's a two way of dealing with this load estimating the load for a sprint or a phase.
All right, we got 30 seconds left, guys.
Oh, on the stickies, you can see velocity, allocated hours, and capacity. So it's it's a combination of who's going to calculate the full velocity and capacity in Agile. Scrum Master and broader owners, right?
Scrum Master, yeah.
No, the actual development team should be the one. They're the ones who agree on what their commitment is, and they agree on what the load is that they can take. It's not the Scrum Master or the product owner. They might facilitate the conversation or contribute information, but it's the development team itself that agrees to what they believe their capacity is.
Right, because they need to agree with what they're capable of doing.
Yeah.
We are out of time, guys. Do you want to keep going or next topic? Let's give a vote.
You guys feel like there was an answer?
No, but I feel like we're running around in circles on this one.
Right, that's why I asked that question.
I think we came up with a clear definition. Marcelo, you want to take a shot at it? Next couple of minutes?
Before Marcelo gets a shot.
Throw me under the bus. Just throw me under the bus.
Marcelo wants to relax.
Before he starts, I want to try to understand, because this will happen in the next topic. We'll have different views, we'll have different opinions, and we got to figure out how, we got to be careful when we jump from one topic to another. We got to finalize one at a time and say, if we're talking about capacity, can we first is this the definition? Can we all agree on that? And then you go to the next one. But because the conversation seemed to go all over the place, it was hard for us to kind of conclude one item, is what I observed from a coaching perspective.
Yeah,
Right?
that's why I asked the question I asked. Yeah, did we get the answer?
I have an idea. Maybe kind of like similar to what you're saying, Rick. So when we put a topic up there, and then we ask, okay, what does this mean? Who did that? I think we're stalling out a little bit. So I think we can go in there and do some stickies, kind of like what Marcelo did. Throw some stickies on what we think it means, and then vote on it, and then go into discussion, or vote at the end on what we think, if we answer the question or not. Just an idea.
I think that might be a better approach, where everyone puts their idea of what they think it is, and then people get to read and look into it, and that might be a better way of us having this discussion.
Yeah, it should spark the ideas based on what's on the board.
I think
I had a question.
When we are talking openly, we are assuming if somebody differs or somebody had different opinion or disagreement, he or she would speak up. We are not making this picky.
No, that's not the case. I'm just saying we kind of like going back to the brain dump, throw a topic out there, do a brain dump, and then talk about it.
Yeah, a question that maybe would help if we're saying how to estimate load, maybe want to say how to estimate load of what? Is this the load of the developers, load of the whole project, the whole sprint? What do we, if we break that down a little bit more, we might be able to get more clarity about what we mean in that context. Right?
Good point. Good point. Decompose the question.
Go ahead, Paul.
I would make a suggestion that unless the person who wrote the sticky is willing to articulate what it was exactly that they were looking to get answered, that we move on. If there's nobody to present and defend, and so then we just say, oh, no discussion here, move on to one where somebody's actually going to be able to.
I think that makes sense.
I like that. I agree with that too.
I think the general question requires the general answer, not the specific answer for a general question.
Well, again, if the person who put the sticky up doesn't explain what they meant, we can't decompose it and answer it and give them the answer they're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, I took shots from various angles, and none of those could be accurate, but they are just guidelines. So I think we all did the same thing. So I think we understand what we are talking about or what we are listening from others. So,
all right. So we're at another 5 minutes, and do we want to keep going on this topic, or do we want to choose another one and then try doing?
So understand.
Let's build on it.
So understand, guys. So understand, you guys are an experiment, okay? And I want to keep learning from this activity. How do we do it better? How do we keep growing on the next one, right? So from this one, it seemed like there was no owners, so we could either jump to the next one, or we could try to dive into trying to explain this. Does anybody want to dive into trying to understand it, or go to the next one? You guys get to do this real quick. Just want to make sure. Okay, it seems like no one's giving me a thumbs up. So we're moving on.
I have a question there. Do we want to, if we want to continue with this topic, maybe if we don't know who suggested this, but maybe we could come up with something if we want to continue. Okay, how do we estimate load is in terms of, okay, for a particular, what do we exactly mean? Do we want to, for this sprint, we want to estimate hours or whatever it is for a particular group that was applied to this team? Maybe we define exactly what the question is and then go answer it, right? Because maybe we don't know, the topic's kind of broad, right? So we got to, if we get that defined,
that's the
if it's worthy, if this is a worthy topic to continue on, spend our time
I think
on.
that's the thing we've been struggling with. We first started with what is it, and we didn't get that clear understanding. So if somebody's still very energetic about this topic and want to kind of define what they feel is their problem statement, and then everyone gives the thumbs up that we want to continue, we could do that. So does anybody have a clear problem statement to address with this iffy topic here that they want to talk about it real quick? Say something.
This is Hector, real quick. There's a lot of conversation around how to define what it means by load, but I'm trying to think backwards here, or from the stakeholder or the sponsor that says, okay, here's the project that has to be done. Don't we need to know when that project is estimated to be done before we work on capacity and loads and timing? So if the customer wants it in 3 weeks, then we start saying, okay, how do we do this in 3 weeks?
So that's a high level estimation, release planning type, and that's a bigger conversation than I think just a load for one sprint the way we were thinking about. But those can, Marcelo, you were raising your hand?
No, you were doing just fine.
Marcelo's monitoring me. That's just wrong. I want Marcelo to always be opposite of me. No matter what I do, Marcelo always be the opposite. That way so I think that's again, that opens up a great topic if we want to talk about how do you release plan, or how does a Scrum team kind of estimate, when is something going to be done, and what criteria do we need, should we have, to kind of work that magic out. So we want to speak about that. So give us thumbs up or thumbs down, or go to the next topic. Let's just do this pretty quick. I'm seeing thumbs down right now. So thumbs down, thumbs down, thumbs down. Let's go to the next topic for now. All right, let's go.
There was a recommendation in the chat that before we actually go to the topic, it's presented.
I love it.
So when, to the point that was mentioned earlier about if the person who put it up there can't explain it,
love it.
When we pick the next topic, if there's no explanation and no one can give us what we need, then we move on to the next one.
Makes sense. Makes sense. So let's look at the next one that has 2 items, I guess. There, what were they? I can't see too well. Executive reporting. So who can explain executive reporting? I'm just throwing executive report. I don't even know. I can't see too well.
That's the one that has the most votes now. So to follow along with Paul's suggestion, it does have the most votes, but can the person who put that sticky please explain what that sticky means to you, so that we're clear before we actually formally agree to pull it forward?
Love it. And anyone else also? Go ahead.
That was me, and I guess what I was thinking about is, how do we communicate, well, multiple levels, how do we communicate progress to the executives, and how do we get them to buy into more of an Agile or Scrum approach to development?
Give me 3 months.
All right, Marcelo. Okay, so that was an explanation. Okay, awesome. Does anybody else want to add to that? That was one way of seeing that. Some other circles. Anybody else?
I think Dan, I mean, this is a very open topic. There are tons of books written about this whole one topic only. I mean, we can look at it from the schedule point of view. We can look at it from the budget point of view.
So we're not answering this question right now. We're just elaborating on, if you put a circle there, what does that mean before we go into the discussion?
So executive reporting we are talking about, right?
Yeah, but we don't want, right now I want just, what is the problem we're trying to solve? What is the problem we're trying, then we'll go and move that over. And Neilu's already ahead of us. Neilu, go back, young lady, go back.
Yes, go back. So Bill put it up and he gave us an explanation. 2 other people put their dots on it. So I think that's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah,
So
yes.
who else?
Anyone
what
else?
other point of view?
What other problem are we trying to solve? What other problem are we trying to solve? Were you the one that put another circle there? Who else was the?
I did that.
Okay.
One more
what problem are you trying to solve?
Yeah, I was trying to, my mindset was that, how do I make sure that my efforts as a Scrum Master are in sync with what project manager and what the stakeholder wants to see. So everybody is happy, and we all are like happy campers together.
Love it. Okay, awesome. And was there a third circle? That was just 2, right? All right. Everybody want to, okay, so everybody okay with continue on that topic? I guess it's the top topic, so we have to move that on. So let's go ahead and move that to number 6, or to the right. Neilu? Slide 6, wherever you were. I think you were in slide 6 or 7. Was it 7? All right, so who wants to help? So what were the 2 questions? Please put them in here. The 2 problem statements, the one you just said and the one earlier.
Bill and Dilip, can you put a sticky with your problem statements in there?
Yes, I think that's on number 5 to 4.
7.
7. Okay.
And then as you're putting that in there, let's just go ahead and talk about it. So,
All right, I'm gonna start the clock.
So, Bill, you want to go ahead and say that a little bit more?
I guess one of the, probably the main one is how do you report progress to the executives and the leadership team to make sure that they understand that actual production or valid work is being produced.
So this is to okay the transformation, or this is just to normal progress of how the team is doing and that they're doing a great job? Are you looking for buy-in so they can continue doing the transformation throughout the whole group, the organization, or are you just looking to say we're awesome?
Well, both, and I think separately. One of them was for transformation purposes, but the first part of the question was for ongoing.
And I'm actually going to jump in on that because I think the we're awesome part will help with the transformation, right? You build your successes. You have successes in your team. You're moving user stories over, from in progress into complete. You have your project manager come in, or one of your stakeholders that is not part of the team come in and see that something valuable to them is happening, and they start to change their opinion because they're seeing positives.
Love it. So what would be specifics on what would they be looking for? What do you think executives at that level would say, yeah, that's what I want? What are they looking for?
They want to see a functionality that one of their users, they want to see either a draft of a report. They want to see a keystroke that has been taken away that, is going to have their admin do less work. They want to see something that is going to take less time or provide more value.
Yeah, it seems like that's the question. How do you add value?
But you actually have to understand, how do you understand what they see as value? How do they define value? How do you know that?
Isn't it understanding the problem that that they have that maybe you can solve?
I would think that you definitely get the value from engaging the stakeholders.
There you go. You have to.
Okay.
Love that.
Yeah, go on, Umberto.
I'm sorry, Vicky.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was waiting for you.
Yeah. So just by engaging your stakeholders, understanding what their problem is, that's where you're going to get what is valuable to them. What makes their life easier, and then once you get that, and that can be transparently shown to leadership, then I think that's when you get that.
Right. And what's valuable to them is going to be what's building your backlog, right?
There you go. That's what I was waiting for.
It's building your backlog. It's what's creating your epics. It's what's creating your user stories, and it's what's making your actual work.
That's what I was waiting for.
I think, backlog and, Jira reports and separated out everything, number of items, those just everything go on like 1 or 2 slides top in front of the executives. But now they want to see a lot more than that. I mean, what you say is right, but that's just 1 slide or 2 slides worth. You want to see something from somebody, maybe Scrum Master or product owner. I mean, who is the owner of providing executive reports? Who is the owner? Scrum Master is not going to provide the executive reports.
No, it's the product owner, I would think, because they have the entire picture of what the vision is, and they could use.
That's right.
Yeah, they could use.
The product owner had a lot more responsibility than just the Jira numbers, and product owner I mean, he had a lot more responsibility than just these 2 items.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all, executives really are looking for metrics, and, are you able to deliver functionality for the product that you're trying to deliver for your customers, customer value, those things, and of course, finance.
But what we were talking about, and the points that I heard, where that you identify that value, you identify those initiatives, those KPIs or OKRs, you know, those opportunity objectives and key results that they're trying to reach, and you map that to your backlog. So when you are showing your metrics, you're actually mapping it to the things that they see of value.
You know,
and that's done as a team though, like the Scrum Master and the product owner are working together to identify how do we map this back to those initiatives that were originally given to us. It's all part of building your backlog and then reporting it back up.
Well, when you say backlog, I assume you're talking about your epics and
Your product backlog,
and your
yeah.
priorities, and not just a product backlog. You're referring to what's being put into that and priorities and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, you have your whole product backlog that this team is doing, and these are the initiatives that they need to meet.
Yeah, I really think they are two different audiences though, right? And what's given to them serves two different purposes.
And
right?
sometimes it has to be put in that way that they're used to seeing it.
Exactly.
Can I
Yeah.
share what I used to do?
Before that, we're at time, so do we want to keep going with this topic, or?
I'll just use 30 seconds. As a as a PO or business owner, I would make a bluff statement with 5 or 6 bullets. That's it, saying how much percentage it's made, where we stand, how much progress has been made since last time, and what are the major issues. Then I will drill down on each and every bullet for the executive, and the executive would probably just want to dig onto 1 or 2 of them, but they just want to see 5 or 6 in the bluff statement.
Understood.
Okay.
I think the key to that, as I point at my computer screen, sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
Are we continuing or
sorry, is the conversation.
Are we this?
I'm good.
What are we done?
Are we moving on?
The vote was up, thumbs up that you want to continue the topic. I'm ready for the next topic. And you can't vote twice. You can't have 2 thumbs up, young lady. I see you.
Okay, so I have a question. Did the person who put the ticket up get their answer?
That's a good question. And that's the answer. That's the question that matters.
Yes.
Bill, did you get some insights?
Yeah, I got some insight. Every little bit helps, and I think there's some value in it.
Yeah.
Thinking through it and listening.
Cool. Cool. And for anybody wondering what give me 3 months meant, those are those 6 stickies.
Love it. Love it.
That's it.
So Marcelo, I'm going to be reaching out to you. I was challenged today by my boss. So, and it has to do with that.
Put a sticky up there. Put a sticky up there. All right. So again, I think this one probably went a little bit better than the other one, right? I think we kind of talked through it a little bit better. Again, I'm observing as a coach here. I did see time box being threatened here. So we got to see how we kind of work with that. When we say time box, we say time box, right? So we got to figure out how that works. But overall, I think the topic was an interesting one. Let's go ahead and move to the next one.
We also had more clarity.
We did have more clarity. Thumbs up, guys. We are getting better. This is an agile team here.
I think that's what did it. We got more clarity.
We're continuously improving.
Moving. There you go, Joe. Good job. All right. Team. So let's take a look at the next one. Okay, so which one in the next one do we, and this is kind of like, I don't see any of them, only ones, we got to close our eyes and just pick one, I guess.
I like to, I mean, for me, I'd like to learn more about Discipline Agile.
Which one? Discipline Agile? Okay. All right, so Joe, since you're the boss, let's go ahead and, so first of all, let's have some clarity on Discipline Agile.
Hector put that up, I believe, and he left.
Oh, unacceptable. Unacceptable. He's out here then. Forget it. Not going to pick that one then. Pick another one.
All right, how do you get free beer?
I'll get free beer. Good one. What's the other one?
Get the Pfizer COVID vaccine.
What's the other one, guys? Come on, let's get the last one. What's the last one we want to work on?
Well, as far as Barry's concerned, do you know in Ireland?
I would like, how do you review user stories when a stakeholder expects a waterfall requirement style review?
Which is that one? I can't see that. I can't see. Anybody can tell me what that one's at.
That's the orange sticker.
Can you read it out loud again one more time? Read it, Negu or whoever.
How do you review user stories when a stakeholder expects a waterfall requirement style review?
How do you?
Yeah, you know, we are talking about how do you deal with the traditional mindset.
Okay, okay, that's an interesting topic. Okay, do you want to add any more to that, or is that clear enough?
I mean, you don't want to be preaching agile to the executive, and somehow you have to find the way to communicate with him that how agile can bridge up his way of thinking, and he can understand. Because he's expecting traditional style review, but
Dilip, let me jump in there because that's actually my sticky. And since we're looking for clarity, I'm gonna yak. So what I'm looking for is not necessarily the review upward, but the review with the stakeholder, the customer they were actually building an app for. I find myself in a situation where we went through a project and the stakeholder had been given waterfall requirements from me and was able to have a vision of what the app would look like. Then the other half of the team was an agile team. I won't get into why. And they basically interviewed her, said, what do you need? And then disappeared and just started producing things. But she felt very unsettled with not having something to understand and have a vision in her head of saying, I see what you're going to build for me. So it was just a user story that said, user wants this. She's like, I don't know what to, I can't approve anything. I can't talk to anything. So I don't know how to have that conversation when you have just user stories.
I actually, you know, I have some mindset about it. Something I have seen it, and I was just reading over the internet about it. It's about.
So let me pause a second. Let me pause a second just so I can move that sticky. Sorry about process over people here. Sorry. Let's move this sticky a second.
Board 8.
Copy it. Go to 8 so that everybody can at least comment on that, and then start that conversation. Again, this will be the final discussion, guys. Go ahead. Sorry,
yeah, I was saying that there is you know very eager, very much lot of agile practitioners are very eager to deliver something, and they often deliver low-hanging fruits, and they may forget the more complex problems or more expensive problems they need to address. So I think a person or executive with the traditional mindset would be, would be very much interested in understanding that we are gearing or we are heading in that direction.
So how does
So it seemed like if it was only one story, it was an epic story, it wasn't user stories. And they should have a working agreement prior to that, how they're going to function.
Well, I have a question. I have a quick question. Matt, is your role as the PM?
No, my role is a waterfall style BA, business analyst.
Okay, okay, BA. So on this, you're kind of doing a SME part, and then there's an Agile team that ran off to do their own thing.
The app had an interface. So I built one half of the interface. The other team built an Agile version of this interface, and then we met in the middle and joined the two basically applications. So when they disappeared to start developing, like for instance, when I put together requirements, I say, here are the parameters you're asking for. Here's how this will be validated. Here's how your data will be checked. Here's how, and the stakeholder gets a good solid understanding of, I get what you're going to build for me. When they disappeared and did Agile stories, she's like, I can't see anything. I can't validate what you're going to make for me. So even when they delivered the app, she was like, well, how do I know you're validating my data? How do I know that? Because you didn't show me anything that I can understand or touch or feel or play with.
As Matt, you had to come up with some solid deliverables you'd like to see, and you had to separate out, like low low-hanging fruits that may, they may be targeting. So that would be way to, make a bridge between what you think and what they think, like what they are delivering. Is it in sync with what you want to see in the long run, or are those are the fundamental building blocks of the, deliverable what you want to see in the end? So that's the approach I would request you to take.
I do have a question.
I'm not sure how to address your particular need, Matt, but it sounds like what happened was there was a failure in the user story mapping or in that process, because that stakeholder should have walked out of that process with a very clear understanding of exactly what was going to be written, and they should be involved in defining the acceptance criteria and the testing criteria, and so all of that should have been done. So that was a failure on the Agile team's part. That's why you're running into this, because they didn't do that part correctly.
So Paul, I think
you could have facilitated that, since you had what she was comfortable with, then maybe you might have to be a little assertive and get in there with the writing of that user story to make sure that it's broken down to a way that she can see value being added along the way. It becomes a partnership. It's not a, okay, I'm traditional and they're agile. It becomes a partnership.
Yes, thank you for that. Because, and Paul, I think you're hitting it on the nose, because the team, I think, went and interviewed the stakeholder and then just disappeared. It wasn't like they weren't in the stand-up. They weren't in the discussions. They weren't in the negotiations. So she's like, I don't know, come back in 6 weeks and give me an app.
Yeah, they're not valuing the customer's input, which is you're going to end up being at a failed project.
Yeah.
That's the way you go.
Yeah, I have been in that.
Absolutely, they're not being agile, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that didn't sound agile to me at all. So
it's nothing agile.
My sticky has quotes or has parentheses, has quotes around agile. This agile team. So Matt, you've been in some of our sessions and you understand that it's a partnership. So
yes,
as much as you can in your company, and I've been in that situation where you take a BRD and you turn it into user stories. That's your baby. Stay with it.
Okay.
Stay with it. Stay with it to write that story. That's my recommendation. That's what I would have done. Write that story, stay with the stakeholder, be that liaison, show the Agile team how to communicate with that stakeholder. You know her better than anybody.
Yes. Sadly, I wasn't in that team. We were very segregated, so I didn't have that, but thank you for that. That's good.
Maybe that's something you can try to incorporate just by showing up in the cubicle area. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, do you have any questions?
Right. How can I help?
Matt,
oh, you have something? Great. Let's set up a session.
Thanks, Victoria.
Matt, you can turn the side and you can shine in this situation. You had to, instead of picking on anybody, life is full of should have and could have been. But what you can do is turn the side and you can try to connect the dots.
Yeah.
And cool. Keep explaining. That's it. That's all you can do. I've been there many times.
All right, guys, we are at time.
Thanks, everybody.
So again, great job. This last one, I think, was very interactive. A lot of people participated. Matt, great job in sharing the story and where we wanted to lead to. I really got this back. So this is a tool, guys. Lean Coffee. You should practice this. You should figure out what's the best way of executing this in your own company when working through certain issues. So we want to finish up the day by making sure that we put our cameras on. We want to take a quick snap.